Let's make vision boards. What's up and welcome to my channel. So a vision board is basically just a visual representation of your goals, whether they're short-term goals or long-term goals. It really doesn't matter, you decide. But I figured that I can give you some tips on how to make one since I wanted to make one myself. Now, I've made different kinds of vision boards over the years, from digital ones that I've printed out and kept by my desk to even one that I made physically for my planner a couple of years ago. You can probably see it on the screen right now. And I've also made two different vision boards that are a bigger version of this that I glued onto foam board. Since my career goals are kind of pivoting, I figured that it was time to make a new one. And there are some techniques that I use to make vision boards that some people probably don't use or have heard of, and I wanted to share them with you in this video. So before you go out and buy a whole bunch of materials or, supplies for vision boards and whatnot, I wanted to tell you the first step of making this, and it has nothing to do with actually making the board itself. But it does help you to get a clear direction of what to look for, and that is to list all of your goals, whether they're specific ones or generic ones. List as many as you want to focus on at whatever timeline you decide. Just don't go crazy listing all of your goals because you only have so much space on the vision board. So really try to focus on the ones that you're trying to achieve in this moment. So once you've got a decent amount of goals listed, try to categorize them and group them together. So I did the same thing with mine, and my categories so far are health, career, travel, home, and money. And I'll get more into detail about what these mean and also what I'm looking for. And now that you've got your goals listed and your categories, this is the part where you start to collect the materials that you need for your vision board. And these are the ones that I suggest you get. So starting with a foam board, also any kind of media that you want to use, so magazines, brochures, catalogs, etc. Even on the internet, you can try to find something like on Pinterest. You'll also need glue. I prefer glue sticks because they're not as messy and they're easier to use. You'll need scissors, a pen, a piece of paper or multiple papers depending on how many categories you have, folded in half, and a Ziploc bag. These last three materials, I'll explain what they're for in a second. You'll also need markers and stickers, but these are optional. They're just to help fill in some spaces and just add more flair to your vision board. So I want to tell you a little bit about my goals so that way you understand some of the images that I would pick for my vision board once I pick them. I'll break it down a little bit. So starting with my health goal. My main health goal is to get down to my comfy weight. Now, I was that weight once upon a time in 2007 when I was studying abroad in Rome, and I've been trying to get back there ever since. I also want to be able to exercise more because I genuinely enjoy doing it, and I want to eat healthier, which includes cooking more and also eating more whole foods, or basically eating more foods the way that they look when they were grown. As for my career goals, I'm currently trying to find a full-time job as a production assistant. Again, I talk more about that in the little link that I put in the card up there. And I'm also treating this YouTube channel as a full-time job in the meantime. I also want my side hustles to be more lucrative. So, for example, my Patreon. I would love to be able to get more supporters on there, which, by the way, anybody who's there right now, my patrons, thank you so much for supporting me and supporting all of my endeavors. You're awesome. My travel goals are pretty simple. I just want to travel more, whether that's domestically or within the US. And I also want to travel more internationally and see more countries that I've never been to before. I have this scratch map that my sister bought for me for Christmas a couple of years ago. And let's just say there's barely anything scratched off on either map. I would love to be able to scratch off more countries and more states. My home goal is actually twofold. One is for my current environment. My room is pretty messy, which maybe you can tell from the video, maybe not. I'm not going to show you. I do my best, but still it ends up being messy. And I feel like part of the reason is because I have too much stuff. So I really want to downsize, organize, and just create a lot less clutter in my environment because it will be a lot less stressful for me. And also, I really would love to get a place of my own. Currently, I'm living with my parents, my baby sister, and my aunts, and we also take care of foster kids. And also, my 5 nieces and nephews tend to be here every day. So there's about 14 of us in this house pretty much every single day, and it gets a little crowded. It's a 4 bedroom house. So I really need my own space so I can just come and just not do anything and relax. You know what I mean? So I really want to work towards that goal as well. The money goal is also pretty straightforward. I want some. Give me money. I'm so broke. But basically, I want to spend less money. I want to save more money. And I even want to try to invest and save for retirement. I'm in my 30s and I feel so behind when it comes to saving for my future. And I want to learn more about how to do that, despite the fact that I am unemployed and looking for a job, because I want to know exactly what to do with my money once I start earning it. So that's basically what my money goal is about. So we've done the first 2 steps, which is to write down your goals and to collect all the materials. Now it's time to actually start gathering all the images. You can clip through magazines or catalogs, but you could also look online, like on Pinterest, or even choose pictures that you own yourself. So I'll give you an example. I have these pictures from when I was studying abroad in 2007 in Italy, and they kind of represent 2 different goals of mine. One is my comfy weight, which I'm sure you can tell is not the same weight that I am right now. And the other is the travel goal. So I could use images like this on my vision board to check off both of those boxes. So I mentioned before in the materials that you should have a pen, a paper folded in half, and a Ziploc bag. I've made vision boards in the past where I just kept all of the clippings together, and then it took me forever to sort them out and figure out what was for what goal. But if you do what I'm about to tell you, then it keeps things organized and it's a lot easier to be able to make the vision board. What you do is you take the piece of paper and then you write down and write one of your goals and have one of these for each one of your categories. And then as you start to clip things, take your clippings, so pretend like this is a clipping. Who remembers these?
Vintage. So adorable.
Put it inside the little piece of paper with the goal that it matches with, and then keep it together this way. As you continue to clip things and put them together, take the paper and all the other ones and put these in a Ziploc bag. Now, the thing is that there were times when I would make a vision board and I wasn't able to do the vision board in just one day. And doing it this way gets me the opportunity to make the vision board little by little. So every day I would look through a couple of magazines and take a couple of clippings and then put it away and come back to it the next day. And this way it stays organized and it's easier to pick up where you left off. So it's been a couple of days of me going through magazines and clipping out what I want. And I figured I would tell you what the next step is while I was going through this process. And that is to look at what you have so far and to make sure that there's nothing missing. So I'm going to show you what I have for my health category, for example, so you can see what I'm talking about. Laying out everything in front of me, you would see that what I have is a whole bunch of words and very little pictures. I actually want there to be a balance of words and pictures, or more pictures than words. It's just the image I have in my head for my vision board. So that tells me that I have to pay more attention to images in magazines than the words. But while I was going through this, I also had another idea. There were certain images that I thought about including that I know I'm not going to find anywhere else. So I figured if I can't find it, then I can draw it. So I'm going to draw it real quick and then I'll show you a speed paint of what these items are and why I want to include them in the vision board. So as I mentioned before, I was at my comfy weight when I was in Italy. I somehow accidentally lost weight while I was out there. I think it has something to do with the lifestyle. So I walked around a hell of a lot more in Rome than I do here in New Jersey. And I feel like the food in Italy is not highly processed the way that it is here, which is unfortunate because I mean, I still ate pizza and pasta every day and somehow I still lost weight. Wish it was like that here. But anyway, the items that I'm drawing right now are pieces of clothing that I wore and that fit me when I was down to that comfy weight. Some of them are clothes that I brought with me to Italy, and some of them are clothes that I already had, that I purchased while I was out there. So if you ever see me wearing these clothes on camera, then you know that I finally reached my comfy weight, and hopefully that's sooner rather than later. Once you feel like you've collected enough clippings, it's time to build the vision board. So start putting them on your board and build the collage, but don't glue it down yet. I'm gonna tell you why. So as you can see, I'm almost done with my board. There's a couple of missing spaces. So like here is kind of blank. Ignore the band-aid. I had a mishap with a screwdriver, but anyways. I'm putting a sticker here or two, and then I'm gonna print something out to put here as well that I couldn't find in a magazine. So the reason we're building our collage without gluing anything down is so that we have the freedom to move things around as we go along. If I had glued everything down as I went along, then this would have looked completely different, because this is actually the second layout that I did. Not only that, it would have been way too busy with too many things stacked on top of each other. Not gluing it means you can experiment and find the layout that you really want. So now that we have it all built, the next step is to take a picture of what you see. The reason why is because we're going to use that picture as a reference to glue down everything where it needs to go. Because we're going to have to actually remove what we see and then put it back together, kind of like a puzzle. But I'm going to use this corner as an example of something to pay attention to as you glue things down. So as you can see, we have this image over here, and then we have these three texts overlapping it. We also have this one overlapping this bicycle. So I'm going to remove some of these near the corner that is supposed to be glued, just to make it easier to know where it goes. And then as I glue things together, I would start with this one. And then I would glue the words near it. So this one would be next. But then I would also have to remove this one and glue that one so that I can put this on top of both. And that one would go right on top of that. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but you get it. That's why we have a picture, so that we can get it right. So go through your board and do that little by little. You don't have to remove everything at once, but maybe try doing a corner at a time, little sections at a time, and then glue it little by little, and you'll start to see it develop into the board that you really want. So I went through the vision board and started gluing everything together, and this is how it turned out. Each one of my categories has a dedicated section on the vision board. The health section, for example, includes the drawings that I did of my clothing that I'm hoping to fit into someday. My home section is just underneath that area, followed by my money goals, as well as my travel goals, which includes a couple of stickers that I didn't have on there before. Above that is my work or career goals that includes a picture of Bugs Bunny. I'll explain why he's on there in a YouTube short that I'm gonna make. And a couple of extra things on the board dedicated to more of my health goals and just my lifestyle goals in general, of being able to do more hobbies and just take moments to relax. And right in the middle, you'll find my current motto, which is all about finding balance. Building this vision board was actually a lot of fun for me. It's been a while since I've made one, and I do kind of enjoy the process. Hopefully you enjoy the process too, and I hope these tips were helpful for you as well. So if you want to see more content like this, just let me know down below in the comments. And also, if you end up making a vision board, please post it on social media so that I can see it. Use the hashtag #TheLesbieVisionBoard2025 so that I can find it. Or just leave a comment below and let me know where to find your vision board. Thank you very much for watching my video. I'll see you next time. Bye! So, why do I always end up laughing? So once you've got something. Go away. So once you've got a decent amount of categories, So once you've got a decent amount of categories, no, not categories. So I want to tell you a little more, No. So I'm going to show you what I have for my health category. What's a category? When I was studying abroad in Italy. Italy. I can't talk. Once you feel like you've gathered enough. Okay, try again. So remember hiring. I'm malfunctioning. Is it recording? Ow! After you've gone piece by piece and started gluing the entire board, then it's done. Duh. I'm doing it! Yay! Okay, I can't have this on my desk. I won't be able to get anything done.